Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be decoding exactly why the vast majority of digital transformations completely fail. And more importantly, we'll give you a concrete blueprint so your legacy enterprise can stop playing defense and start winning.
To get us started, I want you to wrap your head around this staggering statistic: 70%. That is the massive failure rate of digital initiatives trying to hit their expected return on investment. It's an extraordinary drain of capital, time, and organizational energy.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with a welcome to the VUCA world, explore exactly why digital transformations fail, break down the 7 building blocks, talk about playing offense with technology, and finally, dive into the culture and leadership shift.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Welcome to the VUCA world.
Now, you've probably heard the acronym, but it's absolutely crucial we understand the battlefield we're on. VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Basically, it's a landscape where tech disruption, shifting global wealth, and constantly changing customer expectations create this wild, moving target that is incredibly tough for traditional companies to hit.
Because of this, the fundamental rules of business have completely changed. I mean, technology velocity is off the charts right now. Data is exploding exponentially. And because of all that, customer loyalty is super fragile. Your digital customers are highly demanding, and they are crunching what used to be decades-long product and business cycles into mere months.
Which brings us to Section 2, Why Digital Transformations Fail. So what's the core issue here? Well, it's that traditional legacy companies try to apply analog, risk-averse rules to digital problems. It's kind of like watching sluggish battleships trying to navigate a narrow channel, right? They launch these massive, heavy, big bang projects in total isolation because their whole process is built around avoiding failure. Meanwhile, digital natives, they're operating like speedboats. They succeed through agile, cross-functional experimentation. They iterate, they fail fast, and they learn constantly.
To really put that legacy inefficiency into perspective, think about this. Because those old infrastructures are built for rigid control instead of agility, a dismal 1% of all collected data is actually analyzed and used in real time. Literally just 1%. There is no way you can win in a digital economy if your systems are leaving 99% of your insights completely untouched. Okay, let's look at the solution in Section 3, the 7 building blocks. To bridge this massive gap between potential and execution, here is your survival blueprint. These 7 building blocks shift an organization from playing catch-up to aggressively setting the pace of the market. We're talking about adopting the new rules of business, predicting industry maturity curves, leveraging digital technologies, building a global delivery model, driving organizational transformation, fostering entrepreneurial leadership, and nurturing next-generation talent. It's a cohesive framework, and every single piece has to connect.
Zooming in on the technology piece for a second, it's vital to recognize that data is the absolute secret sauce here. Algorithmic decision-making based on data wins over human discretion, period. Proper data harnessing triggers this amazing virtuous cycle of customer personalization that human guesswork just cannot compete with.
And the stakes for getting this right couldn't be higher. Across industries, full digital adoption is surprisingly low. We're talking maybe 5 to 10% of companies fully executing these frameworks. But the rewards for that tiny fraction? They're huge. They see a 25% increase in productivity, double the customer retention, and 2 to 3 times faster growth compared to their peers.
Let's move on to Section 4, Playing Offense with Technology. The mandate here is crystal clear. Incremental thinking no longer works. If you don't think differently, someone else will cannibalize you. You literally have to rethink your entire business model and be fully willing to disrupt yourself, even if that means cannibalizing your own legacy revenue streams before some digital native competitor beats you to it.
But how do you actually execute that without throwing the whole company into chaos? Well, you use a 2-speed approach. In step 1, you execute high-impact, targeted use cases to get immediate business value. You secure those short-term wins. At the exact same time, in step 2, you're building out your highly scalable long-term platforms and capabilities.
And to make that 2-speed engine run, you've got to leverage 4 interconnected pillars of digital. We're talking data science at the core, AI and machine learning to drive real-time action, automation for massive internal efficiency, and a cloud-native architecture to support the whole shebang. You absolutely have to move away from those monolithic IT structures and embrace automated intelligent systems.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, the culture and leadership shift. Listen, none of this agile technology matters if we don't address the human element. Transforming an enterprise requires a profound shift in leadership. You have to move away from traditional managers whose main job was to manage risk and keep stable controls. Instead, you need entrepreneurial leaders, people who actually thrive in ambiguity, foster a deep tech DNA, and accept that failing is just part of the process. If you're leading a team right now, this is the exact mentality you need to cultivate.
So the big takeaway here is that digital transformation cuts across everything: marketing, technology, operations, finance. It is not just an IT problem you can hand off to a chief digital officer and forget about. It requires end-to-end organizational rewiring that is obsessively focused on co-creating with the customer.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to really chew on. Are you actively shaping your industry's future, or are you just waiting around to be disrupted? The blueprint is there, the tools are ready, but playing offense in the digital age, that's a choice you have to make today. Thanks so much for joining me.